This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's talk about the evolution of the business for a minute, because it's sort of been fun for me to think sort of what if, like you've been great friends with Barry Darsow for a long time. And of course he made it to the WWF before you did, had tremendous success with Demolition. But then when the Demolition run sort of winds down and Crush is off doing his singles thing and Edie's going to take a break from in-ring action, at least from within the WWF, they needed something for him to do. And it's not all that different than when you and Tully decided, hey, we're going to go back to Crockett, and maybe Tully had a situation with the WWF. What if you sort of refused to take the pay cut that they offered in WCW and wound up sticking with the WWF? Your pal Barry Darsow became the Repo Man. What do you think you would have been saddled with had you actually stuck around?
Number one, I would have never done that.
You wouldn't have done the Repo Man gimmick?
I would have never went back.
I
would have went to Japan, anywhere else, because you're talking about walking in the front door with your head between your legs and a sign around your neck saying, go ahead, kick me in the nuts.
Right.
I would have, my God, they might have made me like a starburst pigeon or something.
Oh my gosh.
A basset hound. God knows what would have happened, but you can bet your ass the hammer would have dropped, because nobody left there in those days.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Everybody worked their entire career and dug and scratched and everything they could possibly do to make it to that company. And I got it. People were going, well, God Almighty, why are they leaving? They did well here. They're just getting here. It's just the beginning. Why are they getting out of here? Well, be a man of your word, and we wouldn't have had to worry about any of that. I would probably have still been there. But that was the situation there. And I know Barry, he was better than the Repo Man. That's a situation, once you've been an ass kicker and a killer, and you're that same guy in a different costume, but they want you to change your whole shtick. Do they think people are just going to forget about Demolition?
Right.
Because they had that deal over, and him and Bill did a great job, and they took care of themselves. They were big, rugged guys to work with. You had to earn what you got from them. And to just turn that into a cartoon character and think that wasn't going to screw up your career, bullshit.
What did, your pals with Barry, and Barry does the Repo Man gimmick, and he's not really thrilled with it. I don't think he's ever even done an appearance as Repo Man. He'll still paint up and do the old Demolition thing, but no Repo Man stuff. Do you think that's one of his major regrets through his career?
Well, it's hard to say. Barry had a child, he had a wife, he had a family to feed, depending on what was available. And if I remember correctly, I went to bat for Barry and I got him brought back to WCW after the Repo Man thing.
Yes.
But I think at the time that the Demolition thing played out, if they were still offering you a job and maybe nowhere else was, not knowing the circumstances of who he talked to, who he didn't, what his negotiation was with WWE versus WCW. But, we've all done a lot of stupid things. And you brought one up earlier that we're going to be discussing, which is the Renegade debacle. Jesus. But you know what? It wasn't about me. It wasn't about the Renegade. It was about my family and doing what was right for them, because they weren't going to be sitting home when I walked in the door and say, well, did you win or lose or any of those things? It's just, you okay? Everything good? Everything go okay at work? And move on and live your life. And that's what Barry was doing, I'm sure, without question. And a lot of guys have done. We've all done things that weren't good for our career, weren't necessarily good for the business, because the other option was fear of the unknown. And when the business shrunk up to 2 or 3 companies, it cut way down on your decision-making possibilities and, how strong you could be in your negotiations and all that. When there was 15 places to work, you could take care of yourself a little better.
Michael Eldridge wants to know, were there any finishing moves, single or tag, that Arn was scared to or flat out refused to take? This comes up because I think over the years, maybe it even popped up a couple of weeks ago during Dark Side of the Ring, some of the folks weren't so keen on taking the Doomsday device. Was there a finish that you wanted no part of?
That would be one. Yep, that would be one. I didn't like that feeling of cutting a backflip and having no control over, my body and where I landed. I took that thing off of Animal's shoulders, but he just went down with me and we just landed on my back. As lame as that may sound, that's all they were going to get out of me. The flip was out. When I saw JJ land on his shoulder and pop his shoulder out, that convinced me, no thank you. But other than that, everything seemed to be pretty safe at that time. There weren't really, a crossbody off the top was a finish. A figure 4 was a finish. Arm submission was a finish. It wasn't real dangerous like it is today. Some of this stuff these guys do today, I don't even know how they get it in their mind before they can bring it to the ring. I don't know what's going on in there to be able to even think in terms of some of this stuff that they do. And it scares me to death, but hey, it's the evolution of the business.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.